In this video, we're going to be looking at Jake Allen of the Montreal Canadiens. We're going to be just specifically focusing in on his stance. So this is a little bit of a reverse angle, reverse development, I guess, because the puck's starting low. But I thought it was an excellent video to be able to highlight some of the attributes of the different levels of stances that goalies are starting to use. You're going to see it a lot more. It's going to be more pronounced at the NHL level, but it's definitely something you're going to be seeing in the Ontario Hockey Leagues or the CHL, as well as the NCAA and some of the lower leagues. So right now, as the puck's kind of moving down and around the boards here, Jake Allen, he shifts across. He's kind of a little bit more compact here, right? So Jake's not an overly big goalie. He's around 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. But as you can see here, his shoulders are basically in line with the crossbar. So for me, this is an important point. A lot of young goalies, when the puck's going behind the net, obviously if they're shorter, it's not as big of a deal, but we want to always make sure that the goalies, as the puck is moving in behind here, you can see Jake's head is almost right under the bar on the side here. Obviously the puck's gone around, so he's going to quickly shift over, right, and find the puck up the wall. But I find a lot of goalies, especially ones that are taller, so you start getting into like the 5'8" range, and taller meaning that, you know, when they're standing straight up, their shoulders are going to be completely over the bar. They don't get down low enough when the puck's in behind the net. So this is something I really wanted to kind of focus in on here. And then you're going to see now as the puck kind of continues up the wall here, right? So the puck's over here is continuing up the wall up to the defenseman here, right? As Allen starts to shift out, right, the puck is outside of what we call the perimeter, right? So the puck is on the perimeter outside of this box here. So anything kind of out here, up here, above the circles, outside of the dot lanes, we're saying the puck's on the perimeter. So you're going to see a lot of goalies start to elevate their stance here. Reason being, if we stay locked in and low, a lot of young goalies get in what we call a pre-save spread, or they just kind of start widening out their feet. And a lot of young goalies end up going right down to the butterfly in a situation like this. So we want to see the goalies holding their edges. So they started to find if the goalies narrow a bit, they're going to get a little bit taller. They're going to be able to scan a lot easier because they're not low and locked in. And by narrowing their feet just a little bit, narrowing their base, not excessively, it's going to put them on a better balance point on their edges. It's going to make them a lot more comfortable in a taller stance or on their feet, and it's going to make east-west mobility a lot easier than when you're low and locked in, and then you feel like the only way I'm going to get over there is with a slide. Right? So here, go back. Puck is moving below, moving up. Then we're going to see Jake come up here. Then again, nice and tall. So you can see puck's down low, below the goal line, or even below the bottom of the circles. Jake's getting low, right? His shoulders are almost under the bar, right? But he's not getting his feet super wide apart. He's deepening his stance. He's loading into his thighs. Nice, strong, athletic stance. Puck's moving up top. Jake's getting a little bit taller, especially in the chest, right? You can really see that logo. A lot of bigger goalies, goalies that are playing either U18, Junior A, and the higher levels, where they're over 6 foot. I'm getting them into camps, and I can barely see their logo over their pad because they're so crunched down. We want to see the goalies here opening up, presenting a bigger target. You're also giving the shooters different looks. So as the puck's up top, shooter gets the puck. Jake's presenting a bigger target. He's also getting his eyes over the defenseman. Obviously, not every goalie is going to be able to do this, but even if Allen was, 5'8", he's still wanting to go in a taller stance. Again, it's going to give him more time to react, He's going to be lighter on his edges. He's still engaged. So he's not in a relaxed stance where it's lazy. He's engaged. It's relaxed more that he's not really getting a lot of pressure in through his legs, in through his quads, really building up that lactic acid as the play's moving around in the defensive zone. So now you're going to see him drift out. Hands are up. He's still in a ready position. His knees are still relatively bent in an athletic position. So if this defenseman here decides to just release that puck quick, Jake is in a spot that he can react. So the stick is up because of the stance and how tall he's getting. You've got to remember that a lot of goalies now are fitting their blade of their stick, or pardon me, the paddle of the stick, with their butterfly, or what's being called the down stance or stance 3, just depending on what goalie coach you might see. So before 90s, even early 2000s, 2000 right up to 2010, we're still wanting to see the goalie with their stick on the ice. If Jake reads a hard low shot here, he's got all kinds of time to get down on that, get over the puck, and get his stick down on the ice to steer the puck. But in this position here, you can see he's got a clear sight line on that puck. Plus, he's going to be able to pick up a lot easier what's going on in front of him and where are the secondary and tertiary scoring threats. Allow the play to develop a little bit more. Now he's got a calm posture, toes inside the crease. He's letting the play develop. He's not up, down, all around, wasting a lot of energy. He's taking in the game right now, and he's picking up multiple contact points of what might be going on in front of him. And you see the Montreal is starting to take away the middle here, so they're forcing everything up top. Things start to shift. Nice pass over. Right, we see Jake identify with that tall stance. Okay, this guy's going to shoot. So you're going to see him come in and then lower down and load, knowing that shot's coming. So he's getting into that loaded, low, ready stance that we're all used to seeing, and makes a nice shift, stick save, right? Directs that puck to his defenseman. Now Montreal's off to the races, right? Puck is now inside the perimeter, right, or in the red zone and the active zone. So Jake's down now, right, in that low athletic, hyper athletic stance that we're used to seeing a lot of goalies in. And also because he's coming out of the save and the puck's proximity to the net, he's really down, really loaded right now.